Hey, how's it going, everyone? Before I really start on this video, I just want to make it clear I don't have any plans of monetizing this video at all. Even though my channel is not even eligible for monetization, I should make it clear though that not now or ever do I plan on making this video monetized at all due to the nature of this video. However, I also want to shout out because it does have to deal with the KyoAni situation that happened last week as the time of this recording. That right now we still have donations going on for the studio. Sentai Filmworks, which is a distributor of anime over here in the States, has raised over $2 million. If you haven't donated or can donate a little bit more, I think you should do that. And also, for those of you who do not know what's happening with Kyoto Animation, or what Kyoto Animation is, they are an animation studio, animation company known for really good anime over in Japan. And last week, at the time of this recording, an arsonist came into their main studio and burned the building down. And as this recording has come, 34 people have died. It's about 15 people in the hospital still unconscious. As that's why I've known, there was a lot of injuries. A lot of people died, and it was one of the most tragic incidents in Japan, and probably the most tragic incident that I know of in the anime industry to this day. And it hit me a lot harder than I thought it would be. But my pain does not compare to the pain of the victims' families, colleagues, co-workers, friends, and people who just survived the incident, and anyone working in the company. And again, I recommend you go and support this GoFundMe, and they are doing their best to get to an official, try to get to Kyoto Animation directly. And Kyoto Animation has made a statement where you can make direct deposits, like direct donations. They set up a bank account over there, and they're making it clear if you want more information. Crunchyroll also has this for the money raised will be going to the victims and their families to help them with any costs, and will be used for reconstruction of the company. Right there, I'll be leaving links to all of these down in the description below. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, Kyoto Animation, Crunchyroll has a good has a list of how you can help Kyoto Animation. It doesn't just have to be, through the GoFundMe. If you don't trust the GoFundMe campaign, that's fine. I know GoFundMe's can be very it's hard to trust them because there's so many bad stories, but Crunchyroll has made a list of ways how you can donate. Sharing a message of support. They've opened an article where you could actually just send the support or drawing right here through SurveyMonkey. So, photos, etc. You could just do that. You could buy digital, pictures that are about $2, and it goes directly into the company, and it doesn't have to be produced. It's all digital. It doesn't have to be shipped. Nobody has to put work on giving you these pictures. And they are very high-res pictures. I recommend, if you can, support them through there, because this money does directly go to Kyoto Animation, and directions will be here as well. And if you're in Japan, donations at Anime, they're open. One thing Crunchyroll did not put out there is that 11 Arts, who distributed a silent voice into theaters here in the States, They are actually collecting folded cranes for Kyoto Ani, and they have this sunflower template that you can print out. So again, I recommend you go and show your support. And the thing you could do is just share your favorite memories from Kyo Animation. If you're a fan, I mean, if you're watching this video, you probably are, and you're probably aware of the situation. But I figured I, get these links out here, up front, to show the ways that you can help. And really, KyoAni needs a lot of help. And I'll be honest, like I said, the situation hit me harder than I thought it would, and I wanted to really wait a week, till like after the event, because I wasn't in the right mental state last week, with everything going on, and two, everyone was making videos, and I don't know. I just didn't feel like I wanted to wait till I felt it was appropriate to talk about. And what I want to do with this video is talk. It's going to be all unscripted, but I really want to talk about my memories, my personal experiences with KyoAni, and how they helped me, in life. They've taught me a lot of stuff. They showed me some really, great works, and yeah, they show me a lot of what anime can do. And the thing about KyoAni that makes they are probably one of my favorite studios, because the thing about them is, if you give them the budget of a TV show, they would produce something that's, animation quality that would be fit for a high budget movie. And if you give them the budget of a movie, you would get something beyond expectations from their animation. I haven't watched everything out of KyoAni's log, but I just want to go over the quick, some things I have. And to start off, I'm going to start from the beginning, or as far as I can remember, that was my first, and that was Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. You could stream this over on Funimation's site, or you can buy the Blu-ray DVD over on any distributors like Amazon, Best Buy, eBay, rightstuff.com. All these links, and I'll, all the anime I share, I'll probably put links down in the description below. And Haruhi was definitely my first introduction to KyoAni. I remember watching it and just be like, man, this is such a fun anime. I was able to relate with Kyon and Nagato, which I will get to my next, anime I want to talk about. But anyway, Nagato, Suzumiya was a lot of fun to watch. Not only as a character, but the show. The animation was like top notch. And just seeing, all the weird shenanigans that happen with the SOS Brigade, and just the efforts they got into animate. In fact, one arc of the show, infamous enough that even turns people off, is Endless 8, and I will admit, I stopped watching Haruhi. I took a break from Haruhi after Endless 8 because watching the same episode 8 times was a lot. But one thing I really want to commend the animation team was, each episode they at least tried to make it visually different enough. It's sometimes subtle, sometimes not so subtle, but they tried to make it at least a little different. So it wasn't exactly the same thing. And I noticed these differences, not only just in the art, in the backgrounds, but in how characters moved. They just moved a little bit different this time. But yeah, I was floored, with Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, but it wasn't particularly one of my favorite animes until I watched The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya. Now, you can watch Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya over on Amazon Prime Video, or you can buy it on Blu-ray over here on Amazon, Best Buy, everywhere. And this movie is phenomenal. And it made it brought a lot of emotions out of me. when I first watched it, where I really felt for these characters. Um, it and just seeing, the contrast of an anime show that was, looked something, so detailed to be a movie to this, where it's one of my favorite movies, I'll be honest, and I actually try to watch this every Christmas because it does take place around Christmas time, and it is a very good movie, and just the subtle details of make it feel so alive, and I really relate to Nagato here, as kind of being this outcast, bookworm, shy person that I was back in school. And just, I remember feeling for her so much in this disappearance world. I also felt for Keon, wanting to get back to his world because it wasn't, this disappearance world, even though it was kind of fit for to be his perfect world, it wasn't right because it didn't have Haruhi. But it was such a good movie, and I just remember being, wanting to talk about it so much right after seeing it, and just like how emotionally attached I was to, these characters. Now the next anime I want to, remember is Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. Now you can watch this over on Crunchyroll. Not sure if you can stream it on Funimation, but I know you can buy it on Blu-ray and DVD as well. And what a wholesome anime. In fact, as you can tell, I have a Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid shirt. In fact, this is the first time I'm wearing this shirt since I bought it a couple years ago. Better now, I guess, figured better now than ever. But I remember, just like, it's a very cute anime, but so well done, and the animation is just, it's so nice, and it was something nice to bond with one of my friends with while watching it, and just seeing, just it was so wholesome and good. Even though there's some moments where I'm like, I don't really want to watch this in public, but overall, it's a nice family anime, and it's nice to see these family together. And there's a lot of moments where I went, it like touched my heart. It gave me the feels, I guess. And I just really liked seeing this, weird family and just be a good family. And then the next anime I remember watching is Nichijou. Now, there's no way to stream the show. You have to buy it on Blu-ray. Funimation is looking to get a dub, but I recommend a sub for this one. I'm not a dub versus sub guy. It's all depending on the anime itself, but Nichijou, it was by far one of the funniest shows I've ever watched. I remember watching it when I wasn't in the best place, mindset right now, and it brought a lot of laugh out loud moments. First episode, I was, laughing so hard at some of the jokes, and the thing is, I kind of want to read the manga for Nichijou, but the delivery with the animation was just so perfect in timing that I don't think the manga's gonna, like, I can't really look at the manga and just have that same reaction. And it's by far, definitely recommend this weird and funny show. And it brought me so much laugh and joy when I needed it the most. And the last, animation I want to talk about is A Silent Voice. Oops. Sorry. Came unprepared, and it was kind of, the case was buried, but I really just wanted to show you, I'm probably going to rewatch this later today or later this week or sometime soon. I actually went to see it twice in theaters. And one of the things, that, and by the way, you can watch a silent voice not only on Blu-ray, which I recommend you getting the Blu-ray, the physical release, because I just prefer physical editions, but this one you can stream everywhere, like Netflix, Amazon Prime, Vudu, Google Play, YouTube. You can watch it pretty much anywhere. And it was... Now, I'm kind of a movie buff, in a sense. I watch a lot of shows and movies, and I can get pretty critical sometimes. And it's hard for me to get, too sucked up in movies nowadays, but Silent Voice, it got the most genuine reactions out of me that a lot of movies don't. And a lot of that is, the animation and the timing and everything of it. Yeah, I remember the first time it came out to the theaters in the States. I read like the first 3 volumes of the manga, but I didn't want to finish it because I just wanted some surprises going into the movie. And I actually drove an hour to go see this movie in theaters, and I was blown away. There was a lot of reactions. I remember gasping at moments. I don't really gasp, movies, and it's just... I felt really connected with these characters and how they were portrayed in this movie. I actually really felt, because I've been in both of these two characters, the bully and the person being bullied, and how they've grown up. Because as someone who has been diagnosed as the autism, on the autism spectrum disorder, you're kind of the outcast in school. You have trouble making friends. You get bullied. I was in her shoes when I was a kid, and I will admit I could have been a jerk sometimes, and that's where I kind of fit with him. But and I really felt for her, when she was a kid, because it reminded me when I got bullied. I was a kid, because I was different. I felt for him though when he was in high school, because he isolated himself, and I know what it's like to be isolated. In fact, my ninth grade, like my freshman year of high school, there was most of my lunches, I was sitting by myself. All my friends were in different classes and different, in different lunch period than I was, so I was alone a lot. And I got isolated, and everyone's face kind of blurred out like he does here, and seeing this tale of redemption, brought into such a gorgeous, in such a gorgeous and detailed way, was truly remarkable. And I was begging so much after I saw this movie back in, it was 2017 when it came out, first time it came out, 2017, or, yeah, it was definitely early 2017 when it first came out to theaters in the US, where I was like, when is it coming to Blu-ray? When is it coming to physical media? I want to watch it whenever I want to. And I went to see it again, actually, when it came out earlier last year, I believe, or like the last time it came out in theaters in the States. I definitely went to see it again because it is such a good movie. And it's such... It does deal with some serious themes of mental, health, bullying, suicide. It deals with a lot of heavy stuff, and I appreciate this movie for it. But one thing I really want to highlight, KyoAni for, is that they portrayed sign language so well in this movie. Because you could easily just have, pictures of, the letters, of the hands, just moving. Like, you don't have to actually move the, hands in animation, or in anime, I should say. And you could just, quick, ways, motion blur. But they were so detailed. They captured, I'm not expert in sign language, but they captured the hand movements so detailed. It felt so natural, it felt so real. And it shows you the movements in the anime, and it is so nice to see, sign language represented so well in this medium. And that is all on the animation team right there. Now, I will say I haven't seen Violet Evergarden, but I'll definitely be checking out soon. I, I don't know why I didn't watch it when it came out in the States. I stopped keeping track of modern anime for quite a bit, but I definitely need to check that out now. And will probably put in a Wikipedia list in the description below. Kind of, just a list of anime they worked on. And yeah, so I really just want to make this video to share my memories and how KyoAni, helped me through some tough times, and the silent voice especially. Like, it was such an eye opener. It was such a teaching moment, and it gave me a new perspective on life. Sometimes I forget that, but it really did. So there's, like, this studio has done so much, not only with their works, and how they, teach us, very valuable lessons, and how they tackle very serious, moments, serious topics in such a good, manner, and they give us such high quality, they are the best representation of what anime could be and what the anime industry could be, because if you don't know, their working environment was actually one of the best in the industry, because not only were they were very progressive, and they went out to make sure they they were treating their staff well, they were giving them good, wages, they were making sure they were open-minded to the people they were hiring. There was a lot of female staff and female leaders, and it's a male-dominated industry, and it was very refreshing to see KyoAni, really reach out to the female, artists, female animators, and give them a spotlight, give them, not only just animation jobs, but like leading, roles in the industry. And just overall, they were, from what I've heard, they were one of the best examples of how animators should be treated, and really every other anime industry should follow suit on giving them, giving their animators living wages, wages above the poverty line, but and give them the money they deserve for the work they make, and give them the time they need, for scheduling, not put them under crunch, and it really shows that, happy employees makes really excellent content, because there's not going to be anyone like KyoAni. But one thing I really want to make sure that doesn't die with this fire, there was so much lost in that fire. Not only just, the president of the company said that digitally and paper, all of that was lost in the fire, but more importantly, so much talent was lost. The people that were lost, the 34 victims that died in that fire from that arsonist, they are lost, and they'll never come back, unfortunately. And that was the truly biggest loss in the anime industry, because you can recover all the materials back and even remake the work that was lost, but you can't get those people back. You can't get those 34 people who died in that fire back. And it's such, what happened, no, not one life is more valuable than another, but there was a talent to those 34 victims. And granted, yes, the names are not released, but I know if they were working at that studio, they they were supposed to have a good future. That talent is not lost, but I think we, not only as fans, but as artists, creators, I think we need to make sure we keep the ideals that KyoAni was trying to make. To make sure that we have a healthy work environment, to make sure our, quality of our work is up to standards, but that we're not killing ourselves to get it out. At the same time, the ideas of KyoAni should not die with that fire. And if that's the one thing we have to keep alive, because we can't have those 34 talented people who passed away be in vain. We just can't. I don't know if KyoAni is going to bounce back as much as I want them to. I want them to heal first and foremost. I want I want them to take the time to recover. And if they don't fully recover, it's understandable. But the best we can do is help and give our support, in any way we can, even if we don't have much money or any money. We could just give them emotional support and tell them how their work was so good, and that just tell them that you have your support. There's a lot you can do. I want to end this video by saying that I give my condolences to the families and friends of the victims that were lost in the fire. I hope for a speedy recovery for those who were injured and are still struggling in the hospital, from that fire. And to KyoAni, to everyone that has worked, in the studio, ありがとうございます